Na 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 na.
India is terrified, Australia's on fire. India is terrified, Australia's on fire. La 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 la. La 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 la.
What do they say, John? The winners write the history books.
Yes, they do.
Australia are the World Cup champions, Jono.
2023, mate. Let's go.
It's time. It's time.
Time?
It's time. Let's get locked in, fellas.
Standing on business.
How are you this fine morning?
I'm doing great, mate. It's a
I'm
great
doing
day.
great too.
It's
Do you
a
want to
great
know
day.
why?
Why is that?
Because when the time comes, we deliver. We stand on business.
Who is we?
Australia.
Australia, baby.
Do you know how many of those moans I've let out in the past 18 hours?
Just out of happiness, relief,
Justice.
Joy.
Justice.
justice. Yeah.
Justice.
Got those cheats down finally.
You know, I'm a bit of a buzzword guy, John. Subscribe if you haven't already, but here's 5 things from the World Cup final that made Australia win.
Indeed.
DNA, John.
DNA.
You know?
Championship DNA.
Mithun's been talking about it. I've been hesitant, but we saw it. We saw it yesterday.
I don't know why you were hesitant. It's in our blood.
It is.
It is.
It is. You know, everyone was telling me, all these reels. Oh, Kohli to Tendulkar, Gill to Kohli. Oh, it's beautiful. We've got a generation of talent at our...
I mean, they do, to be honest. They do.
No.
They've got talent.
I'd like to quote...
They don't have that DNA.
I'd like to quote Spider-Man. Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah.
That's not how it goes here, buddy. That's
Nah,
not how
nah.
it goes.
This is going to be our story. You know?
Yeah.
It's actually a sad day for Australian sport. You know, we didn't win player of the tournament.
Mm.
We didn't win bowler of the tournament. Mohammad Shami, Virat Kohli. Fuck, John. What a shame, eh?
What a shame, but if only they won the championship as well. That's what really matters at the end of the day.
I know. You know, it's not often we wear these jerseys, green and gold. We get to run an underdog narrative.
We do. The underdog
But
narrative. It feels good.
It was deserved.
It feels good.
It was deserved this time, right?
Fully deserved.
We're away. Home court advantage.
Real home court advantage. Real home court advantage.
Corruption advantage, some
Yeah,
might say.
Some might say.
Some might say, not me. Just saying.
No, it's just
Some
out
might
there. It's
say.
out there, not
Some might
us. It's
say.
out there.
6-time chance, 6-2 in World Cup finals,
Yep.
4 out of the last 6, 3 in my lifetime, 3 in Jono's lifetime,
5 out of the last 7.
5 out of the last 7. That's what I
believe.
like to hear. I wasn't alive, so I'm not really going to care.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
But DNA, that's point number 1. All right, point number 2, John. Composure, lads.
Composure.
Lads.
Composure.
Composure, lads. Why?
Composure.
Why? They're acting like they haven't been here before. These
know.
guys, they don't know that. Can you tell them what it takes to win a World Cup final? The execution from the bowling side.
It's about a game plan, execution, knowing your customers, knowing your personnel, what they like to do,
KYC,
what
bro.
they struggle against. Exactly, it's KYC. It's what we do. You've got to know who you're going up against, and you've got to know how to bowl to them, to bat to them, to field to them. All of it. It's all game plan.
Brother, the fielding was on point, but the adjustments in the field, deep point out for Rohit Sharma.
That's in the DNA.
Just making sure everything is to a T, John.
And then when the opportunity comes, you make those plays. Just like Travis Head's catch of Rohit Sharma, that really turned the game around and set the tone for the Aussies in a good direction.
I know them boys in blue are making that catch.
No, not at all.
They're ducking and
No,
hiding.
they're hearing 120,000 people yelling before the catch is even made.
Nah, pressure's on. I can't handle pressure.
No.
All of that, man. All of that. Mitchell Stark, 3 wickets, 30 dot balls.
Yes.
Pat Cummins.
Pat Cummins, what a spell. That's a captain's knock with the ball.
Another 30
Unbelievable.
balls.
Unbelievable.
Stepping up every time we needed them in the clutch. Semi-final, final. Hazlewood and Stark. I know Hazlewood went for a few runs, but
He did, yeah.
we'll
60
allow it.
runs
We'll
over 10
allow it
overs.
today. We'll allow it. And you compare this shit with what India pulled, okay? The extras. KL Rahul, one of the worst keeping performances in a final you ever see.
Yep.
The defensive field settings. Labuschagne.
Way too defensive.
Breezing. We're coasting, John. We're coasting.
When you only set a total of only 240, you can't afford to play
Nah.
too defensively.
I was clapping every single...
Especially with that
down to
Indian
mid-off,
bowling
mid-on.
attack. They have a bowling attack that's probably been the best the whole World Cup. You've got to attack with that lineup, man.
Hey, the best bowlers, the best batters, where does that get you?
Runners
Silver.
up.
Silver.
Silver.
All right, point number 3. Fundamentals, John.
Fundamentals, mate.
Fundamentals. Labuschagne, I know you were doubting this one.
I was.
You were doubting this one. But I was telling people, this isn't your sexy T20 Zinger Bales cricket. We need to have a couple of guys when shit gets rough, they will dig you out of it.
See, early on in the tournament, I was doubtful because you were seeing all these high scores. And in those cases, I would rather have that Stoinis option over Labuschagne just for that power hitting.
100%.
But as we got later into the tournament and the corruption came in with these pitches, scores got lower and lower. And when on pitches that are spinning a lot, we want Smith and Labuschagne in the middle order. Smith didn't play well yesterday, but Labuschagne, what a knock. What did he get? 58 of 110. Only a 50 strike rate pretty much, but he was a perfect foil for Travis Head, really brought the innings together and made it quite a comfortable victory for the boys.
Of course, and when you talk about fundamentals, you need to talk about the 6 days before this. You know, you play 1 game a week, 2 games a week, whatever. The days leading up to this, to preparation, to get those field settings right, to get everything right. And then on top of that, you bring the individual brilliance, like you saw from Travis Head.
Yeah.
Man of the match.
What's even crazier as well is I think for Australia's 7th or 8th group game, they had the option of dropping one of Stoinis or Labuschagne because they had too many people. But then
he was praying
the Mitch Marsh news. The Mitch Marsh news came in where he had to go back home. But it was said that for that game, the plan was to drop Labuschagne and play Stoinis. So they kind of revealed their cards, but they've gone against that in the semis and the final, and it's paid off perfectly.
It's exactly what I like to see. You know, we didn't do well at the T20 World Cup last year. You see Tim David instead of Steve Smith. These are the sort of conversations you got to have.
Yeah.
It will always be hard. There will always be a game where you need someone
that's where that DNA comes in. That's where that DNA comes in. And Steve Smith
didn't even get out, John. It was outside. It was outside off.
Yeah, it was. Impact outside off as well.
So you look at that. That is not a smart decision. Bad composure from Steve Smith, but we've got plenty more where that came from.
100%.
Point number 4, John. I wanna do a little trivia for the guys that we couldn't take along with us.
Honorable mentions.
For the ride. The leftovers, if you will.
Yeah.
Alex Carey, vice captain. One of the best keepers we've had, unfortunately, last few years. It's been a downturn for Australia.
That was a shock. Seeing him dropped after that first game, I wouldn't say Inglis outperformed his role.
No, really. And it's a vice captain as well, John.
Vice captain as well. You never see that from an Australian side, dropping a captain or a vice captain. They've always embraced that kind of loyalty and just that trust in their leadership team.
Just goodwill, man. Goodwill.
But the keeper over the whole tournament didn't really play a huge role for Australia, so it didn't come back to bite them.
Exactly. All right. Number 2 there. Nathan Lyon, Ashton Agar.
Lyon.
I don't think Lyon was ever in contention, but the body of work he puts in, it's a shame. Obviously, we won the World Test Championship, but it's a shame that this is the game in all its glory, right? This is the moment we get every 4 years.
Yep.
Some of the best players aren't going to be there, so just
for Gary.
And secondly, Ashton Agar ruled out with a calf injury a month before the World Cup.
See, that would have been very interesting. If he was fit to go, what the Australians would have done with their lineup, I don't know. Would they have gone down India's route as going Jadeja, Kuldeep?
We wouldn't have lost if that's what you're talking about. We wouldn't. We're not on that. We're not on that.
You think we're playing the 5 bowlers?
We might play an extra bowler. I don't care what it takes, John. I know there's 11 men in green and gold that will
find a way to win.
We go to war and we come back victorious. Another one here, Jai Richardson, John. I love him. You love him.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, we're going to spawn fast bowlers. That's what we do.
That's what Australia does.
That's what Australia does. That's what the Perth Scorchers do.
Yeah.
And I hate this injury record, and I hope one day we get to see him in green and gold.
Yeah.
But anyways, Usman Khawaja, Australia's real leadership option in 2018.
Yeah.
I wish you were here, brother. I wish he was here. I wish he was here. Because I see the idea of tempo control, you know, the inconsistencies in this team. I wish he was.
If he was in the team, then Labuschagne's not playing.
Though. Exactly. And I don't hate it. Because Usman can play the aggressive game.
Yep. And his game has improved a lot more in the subcontinent the last few years. Mate. Before it was horrible, but it has improved the last few years.
Stepping up every step of the way, mate. Number 5, final point before we wrap up and celebrate with our non-alcoholic beers.
Oh, water. Let's hear it. What do you have?
Luck. You know? Everyone's saying we got lucky. Everyone's saying we lost our first 2 games. We're not the best team this World Cup.
You call it luck. We call it championship DNA, championship medal, peaking at the right time when it matters the most. That's what it's all about. In the long tournament,
You make your own luck. And if it is luck, go cry about it. Go cry about
It's not
it.
a regular season. It's not 10-1 is better than 9-2.
Mate, you knew the terms and conditions
You
before
did.
you signed up.
You knew.
You knew. Semi-final and final, 2 games, no matter what you did the 10 before.
Get to the final 4, and then it's
Get
all
to
hell is
work.
loose for that last 2.
Get to work. So the toss was very important. Obviously, bowling first, good decision, I'd say.
In hindsight, it's easy to say, but it was very difficult to say with that pitch before the toss.
I just want to leave it with this, though.
Yep.
There was enough of an opportunity for both teams to win this World Cup final.
100%. 100%.
And no amount of we tried our hardest,
Yeah.
luck didn't turn our way. You don't get to do that shit.
Yeah.
What was it, John? It was, let me see here. 47 for 3. Steve Smith gets out.
Yep.
Kohli starts riling it up.
Yeah, he's
riling
going
it
crazy,
up.
getting the crowd
Shut
going.
the bro. We came here on a wholesome vibe. The last 4 or 5 years, we've talked to HR. We're not
have.
allowed to do the shenanigans
Yeah.
anymore.
We're all
apparently.
best friends now after the IPL. We're all best friends, allegedly.
And then you want to come back to us with this? Composure, lads, composure. Finally, before we wrap up, John, what is the legacy for this Australian team? We've got a Test championship this year. We've won the World Cup. We've retained the Ashes. What does this team mean to you now compared to the teams you've seen before?
I feel like the core of this team has been the same for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Almost a decade. You've got Warner, you've got Smith, the bowling lineup.
Yeah.
Keeper's changed quite a bit. Maxi's been there for quite a while.
There's been
as well.
quite a bit there for, I'd say, 8 years at least.
That core, you could say, is one of the greatest ever. They've won 2 World Cups, a T20 World Cup. They've retained the Ashes.
Yeah.
The Test Championship this year as well.
The honours are there. But I'm
They're
just going to
there by
say,
far.
if you tuned in every game, if you rode through every high and low since Johannesburg, Cape Town, whatever
been a roller
it was,
coaster.
it's been a roller coaster, and every step of the way, I'm left asking for more.
But that's what you say about the great teams. They always go through adversity, and they come through better on the other end.
What a victory!
Just
what a
like
victory.
last night.
What a victory!
What a game.
All right, fellas, stay tuned, stay locked in. We'll talk about cricket in 4 years' time. Actually, we'll talk about it whenever because that's what we do. I know. A lot of these Indian fans, John, they're not even fans of cricket. They just have to watch it for their country, like casuals. Anyways, stay tuned, stay locked in, subscribe for more. Were you happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You?